Ball State students will see a hike in their tuition starting next semester because of a new fee, and it's more than you might think. Good evening and welcome to News Center at 9:30. I'm Jared Hall.
And I'm Melissa Cordial. A new technology fee for students is designed to help them, though it may hurt their pocketbook. Elliot McInnes is live at the news desk with tonight's top story.
Now, a technology fee for students, but it's official. Students taking more than 7 hours will pay $65 per semester. Those taking less than 7 will be charged $25 per semester. And students I talked to are taking the fee well.
When students check their mail for the spring tuition bill, they will find something new, a technology fee. Ball State Vice President of Information Technology, O'Neill Smitherman, says the fee is necessary to keep campus technology up to date.
Some of the initiatives that we've had in place are absolutely essential, and if we did not have the funds to keep them going, there could be some real damage done by losing ground.
Most students don't seem to mind. Michael Arthur is a Ball State junior.
It's to be expected. Technology is changing at a quick rate nowadays, and you have to have that extra money from students and faculty and other people to keep up and compete with other universities and make Ball State a very technological advanced place.
Officials say the new fee will improve the 21 computer labs on campus. Ball State provides a computer terminal for every 8 students. The national average is 1 terminal for every 28 students. Sophomore Corey Boyd is pleased with the technology available at Ball State.
A lot of computer labs all over campus I can use, so, you know, if, say for instance, a student doesn't have a computer, they can just go and just use one real quick.
Computer labs like this one aren't the only things that will benefit from the fee. Smitherman says the money will also go to improve internet access, web development, and antivirus software. Smitherman says Ball State is a leader in technology.
Part of the reason we've been able to do that is because the state of Indiana has been very supportive of technological advances, especially in higher education. Unfortunately, over this current year, they had to cut the amount of money that they made available.
Because of the state budget crisis, the state cannot afford to pay the technology fee, so the burden has been passed on to students. Jared and Melissa?
Elliot, does the university have any plans to help the students who can't pay or who weren't prepared to pay this new fee?
Well, yes. In fact, Smitherman told me that those who need help can contact the Dean of Admissions.
All right, that's good news. Thanks, Elliot. And earlier tonight at 5:30, we showed you that some academic departments at Ball State are suffering as a result of an outdated budget system. As News Center's John Shannon reports, some positive changes could be on the way.
Our investigation started with a simple question. Why can't the Department of Telecommunications afford to buy paper? Soon we found that academic funding isn't necessarily tied to student enrollment. Provost Warren Vanderhill says the system has been around longer than he has.
It's primarily a system that I inherited, and where it begins, as far as trying to unravel this from a historical perspective, you probably would have to ask, Vice President Kinghorn.
So that's exactly what we did. Tom Kinghorn is Vice President for Business Affairs. We asked him whether the historical budget responds to changes in student demand.
I think the answer to that is yes.
But some still disagree.
No, we've got to get off this historical funding model.
The layout of the administration building is a good symbol of this debate. On one end, Vice President Kinghorn favors the historical model that's been in place for years. On the other side, President Blaine Brownell says it's time for a change.
I do believe, and we have not had this in place to the extent that we should have, that we need either a model or a set of guidelines about how funding is going to be reallocated more in the direction of student demand.
Details of any changes to the process aren't finalized, but both sides agree on one thing.
Improving communication might be something that would be beneficial. Because there are many misperceptions out there, including misperceptions on the part of fairly high-ranking people in the university about how it really functions.
Brownell says the choice to reallocate academic funding is obvious.
To me, it's a no-brainer that over the course of 2 or 3 years, if there's consistent evidence of increasing student demand, that is clearly and unarguably a a need that is being met by a unit and that it needs additional resources to deal with that.
But increasing money for some departments means taking money from others.
If there is a decline in student demand in those units, I think that that is a perfectly fair consequence.
Everybody assumes that if budgets start getting reallocated, theirs will be improved. But if budgets start getting reallocated, there's winners and there's losers.
It will take time to sort through the details of reallocating academic funds. Brownell says we could see changes in as soon as 2 or 3 years. It's impossible to say whether departments like TCOM will benefit, but some here feel it could be their only hope. In the Ball Communications Building, John Shaner, NewsCenter 43.
You can read more about this story in Thursday's edition of the Ball State Daily News, including a guest column by reporter John Shaner. If you missed the first half of our special report, you can see it again Thursday on NewsCenter at 5:30. Also in tomorrow's Ball State Daily News, local Muslims are angered at the U.S. for continuing to bomb during the holy month of Ramadan. Plus, the Schaefer Bell Tower construction is finishing up. The bells will be installed next week and will play a number of different tunes. Read about these stories and more in tomorrow's edition of the Ball State Daily News.
Well, Nicholas Furrier joins us now with our first forecast. And Nicholas, I don't know if I just wasn't prepared, but walked outside this morning and it had been raining and all that kind of stuff. And
right, we did have some storms pass through this morning. They moved out of the way, though, but the temperatures continued to drop as this day went on. Let's take a look at our first forecast for tonight. Rain showers return, a low of 40 degrees.
All right, thanks a lot, Nicholas. Well, you know, it's hard not to notice the drop in gas prices, especially if you travel the roads daily. The Indiana average for gas today was $1.05. That's down 45 cents from this time last year. The national average is down 38 cents. And local Muncie customers say they're pleased with the drop and hope it doesn't go away anytime soon. You could call it an early Christmas present in the most unlikely of places. Thanksgiving travel brought this man's family in from Missouri and New Hampshire.
I've been back and forth to the airport quite a few times.
So these low prices look pretty good.
They really help, yes.
Prices at many stations across town mirror these, 98 and 99 cents. Some of the lowest, 96 cents at Meijer. Officials with AAA attribute the drop to September 11th when oil producers increased production following the attacks.
With an increase in the crude oil supply and a decrease in travel, the result is a extremely low but enjoyable gas price for the public.
I work in Marion, which is about 45 minutes away from here, so either way I'm still using a lot of gas, so it's definitely a welcome change to see the gas prices go below $1.
AAA officials say we can expect to see these gas prices for a few weeks, barring any unforeseen circumstances.
We can enjoy this type of price as long as the refineries are working, as long as, of course, terrorism at any time can disrupt the original supply, which is in the Middle East.
Travel has been down since September 11th. AAA officials tell me there was a 6% drop over the Thanksgiving holiday, and that's normally the most traveled holiday of the year. And so analysts say these cheaper prices may help boost travel as well as stimulate the economy a little. So it's nice to see 98 cents. I went ahead and filled up while I was at the stadium marathon there.
Yeah, I wish I would have. I filled up a little bit earlier. Well, coming up when NewsCenter at 9:30 continues, it's the season of giving. Coats, that is. But are these season's donations enough to meet the needs of Muncie residents? We'll show you what you can do to help coming up.
And it's time to get those fresh pine trees for the living room, but are people buying this year? The economy hits even the local Christmas tree market. Details on that when NewsCenter at 9:30 continues.
Coat drives are in full force this time of year, trying to meet the needs of people who need help gearing up for winter.
That's right, and as NewsCenter reporter Justin Brown shows us, Muncie businesses have come together to give out coats, but they need even more help from the rest of the community.
Maybe another day, huh?
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and among the trees and plastic Santas, a box stands half full. waiting for you to fill it.
Coats are the main part of the drive, but we also like to get hats and mittens and scarves. This particular program focuses on cold winter clothing.
This makes the 10th annual coat drive called Coats for the Cold. Muncie's Walmart is one of the area's participants, and the donation stations will only be receiving through the beginning of December.
I'm not seeing a lot of gloves and hats and mittens. I think that's even more pressing need if we can get some accessories in rather than just the coats.
Once the donation boxes are filled, another business steps in to help. Muncie Cleaners dry cleans each item before distribution.
We really did get into it because we felt that we could do something for the community that way.
Last year, only a little over 500 coats were donated, but this year, just over 1,100. And that's a lot to clean.
It's turned out to be a whole lot more than I thought it would be, but still yet I'm glad it is.
Once the donated items have been cleaned, they are then shipped to the Christian Ministry Center of Delaware County, where volunteers give warmth to the cold this season.
The weather hasn't been very cold this year, so it's been a little slow, but as the winter progresses, it'll pick up and we'll have lots of coats distributed.
If you are in need of warmth this cold holiday season, you can get 1 coat per person. Christian Ministries will be distributing until all items are gone. For News Center 43, I'm Justin Brown.
You can help meet the need for mittens, hats, gloves, and scarves by donating any of these items to the Muncie Walmart or the Muncie fire stations. Well, people are breaking out the tinsel and lights for the Christmas tree.
That's right, Melissa, but because of the slowdown in the economy, are people buying fresh trees this year? News Center reporter Amy Wiekert is live at the news desk with the answer. Amy?
Well, Jared and Melissa, Christmas tree sales are down this season. The good news is, though, that most of the regular customers are still buying live trees.
As the Christmas season draws near, many families have begun the search for new live trees to place in their homes. For a number of local buyers, this is a yearly tradition.
My father always brought us here to buy our trees, and since moving back to Muncie as an adult, I've always gotten my trees from this lot as well.
Not as many customers are buying as usual, however, as sales this year have been down.
We're a little behind last year. At this point, our expectations were to meet last year, but a little bit slow.
As the economy weakens and the attacks of September 11th are fresh in the minds of citizens, they work to keep their spirits high in order to enjoy another Christmas season.
People seem in a really festive mood. I don't know if it's because of the September 11th attacks or just because it's Christmas, but everybody seems really happy and really into the spirit.
Most who work in the Christmas tree business are hopeful that sales will increase. They say that when we begin to see some snow, people will then be more anxious to buy. Jared and Melissa?
All right, thanks, Amy.
Well, Nicholas Frey, are we going to see any snow? She just mentioned that, but I don't know if that's going to get people out to buy some trees.
Well, it doesn't look like it yet, but the question everybody's asking is, will winter be coming into the Muncie area? Or will this warmer than usual weather stick around? You'll find out coming up next in the full forecast.
You hate winter.
Good evening. Opening up our weather almanac for tonight, we see our high today was 57 degrees, a lot higher than our normal of 44. Our low was even higher than our normal. We only got down to 45 degrees today. The sun rose this morning at 7:40 and set tonight at 5:18. Looking at our highs across the state of Indiana, actually most of Indiana hit their highs today way before noon, including Evansville, which hit 60 degrees at 2 a.m. Muncie, we saw 57. South Bend saw 55 degrees. Currently outside, clear skies, temperature of 40 degrees, humidity is at 82%. And looking at our satellite picture, you can see these clouds representing the precipitation that fell along the western coast. Some snow fell in New Mexico, and here is this major system that is moving through at this hour. Let's look underneath that satellite at our radar picture, and you can see all this snow that fell today in the panhandle of Texas, and then mixing with some rain as it moved to the east. Also, some parts of Minnesota saw almost 2 feet of snow today, and some other snow and rain on the west coast. Locally, not too much going on, just some light precipitation over in St. Louis and southern Illinois. Not too much to be concerned about here. Looking across our lows tonight, I mean, you can see it there. Some places in the United States, the weather outside is truly frightful. -10s up in Canada, single digits in mid-America, but here in Muncie, it certainly is delightful. 40 degrees tonight. Rain showers, winds west at 7 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning, those showers continue as you walk out the door. Temperature remains at 40 degrees. And tomorrow, you see this system that dropped snow today in the Panhandle moving eastward and continuing to drop that precipitation, likely a mixture of rain and snow. And tomorrow's highs, this cold trough of air continues to dominate Middle America. And for tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 42 degrees. And in our 3-day outlook, gradual warm-up. Thursday, 46 degrees. Friday, 45 degrees. Saturday, we could see 50. And looking at it next Monday, maybe even 60. So winter's not here yet.
60 looks good to me.
Thanks a lot, Nicholas. Well, Corey Cummins in next with sports. You have some basketball for us.
There's a ton of basketball going on right now. We have the ACC Big Ten Challenge. There's a Ball State Limited in action tonight. I'll have more news on that when you set up 43 recaps.
After traveling to Los Angeles over the holiday weekend and coming home with a third-place finish, the Lady Cardinals look tonight to defend the home court when they took on IPFW. The Cardinals set 22 career highs while on their trip. Tonight, they were looking for some more as we go to Worthen Arena. Coach Roller had a lot to be laughing about tonight as Ball State rolled over IPFW early. Ball State up 16 when the massacre begins. Jonna Golf finds Julie Just off the wing for the home run. Cards up 51-32. Later, off to Courtney, Nikki misfire. Goff takes it the distance for the easy two. Cards putting on a clinic. Then, a bit later, off of Kate Endry's steal, Goff finds Tamara Bowie on the fast break. Bowie for the easy layup. That was the 1,000th point of her career. They go up 30. They roll on to win 90-50. Ball State now 3-1 early in the season. As again I said, Bowie gets her 1,000th point. After starting the season 0-4, many people were calling for his job. Head football coach Bill Lynch turned the season around and finished 5-6 with a 4-1 record in the MAC West Division, which was good enough for a share of the West Division title. This was Lynch's 5th straight losing season, which usually would cause for some change. But yesterday, athletic director Andrea Seeger decided Lynch could stick around for 2 more years, extending his contract, meaning Lynch will still be around till 2004. Last year, it was Talmadge Hill's year to shine as MAC Freshman of the Year, but this year, it was Marcus Merriweather's turn. Merriweather was selected as the All-MAC first team. Merriweather became the second rusher in Ball State history to rush for 1,000 yards in consecutive seasons. He had 1,004 yards last year. This year, he was up to 1,244 yards, which broke the single-season record. Merriweather led the MAC in rushing and was 10th in the nation at 124 yards a game. Merriweather will return for his senior season where he will look for another 1,000-plus yard season. The early season tournaments continue tonight as the ACC Big Ten Challenge kicked off with 2 teams whose football teams have made a lot more noise than the basketball teams. Preseason number 2 Illinois has stayed there, but was nearly beaten this past weekend by interstate rival Southern Illinois. Maryland, who was preseason number 3, fell from the Gracies early as they lost to Jason Gardner and a bunch of Arizona freshmen in the first game of the season. They have rebounded, and tonight it was number 2 Illinois versus number 4 Maryland. To Cole Fieldhouse we go in College Park. Illinois coach Bill Self was in his second year. Early in the first, Juan Dixon gets the no-look pass from Steve Blake. He buries the 3 in the corner, puts Maryland up early. But Frankie Williams comes back and says, anything you can do, I can do better. He buries the 3 up from the pass off of Robert Archibald. Then Dixon and Steve Blake play a little bit of catch. Dixon gets open, buries another 3. Then off of an inbound pass, Robert Archibald finds Brian Cook underneath. Cook sends it home, but Maryland holds off a late Illinois run, pulls out the 74-63 run. Dixon led the Terps with 25 points. Frank Williams was missing as he only had 10 points tonight. In our second game of the ACC Big Ten Challenge, it's at a neutral site in the United Center in Chicago as Jason William and number 1 Duke took on Luke Rector and number 7 Iowa. As this was the big game of the tournament, last year the Big Ten fell just 1 game short of beating the ACC, who has won the first 3 tournaments. Duke only beat Seton Hall by 1 in the Maui Invitational, but has steadily gotten better. Right now, Duke is up 41-32. Jason Williams is averaging 16 points a game. Luke Rector is only averaging 18 for Iowa, but it's still second best on the team. And in our few sports notes tonight, Notre Dame coach Bob Davie has said he will not resign even though his team is only 4-6. Last year they were 9-2. He said the university gave him the extension. He's not quitting. That's a few sports notes that we had tonight.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Corey.
Thanks, Corey.
Coming up right after the break, Nicholas Ferry will be in with a look at your wake-up weather.
Stay tuned.
Recapping our weather forecast for tonight, rain showers, a low of 40 degrees, light winds from the west. For tomorrow morning, the showers continue and the temperature stays steady at 40 degrees. For tomorrow, scattered showers throughout the day, only a high of 42 degrees. And in our 3-day outlook, 46 Thursday, 45 Friday, and by Saturday, a nice 50 degrees.
All right, remember to bring your umbrella tomorrow.
That's what I was
Jared.
going to say. I'm
Thanks.
going to remember to get that out tonight.
Thanks. And thanks for joining us for News Center at 9:30. I'm Melissa Cordial.
And I'm Jared Hall. News Center 43 is an official CNN Student Bureau. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for News Center at 5:30. Have a good night.